What's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on Black Ops 6 Zombies. We're here on Liberty Falls, and what I want to do today is a new player guide. Now, we're about 6 months into the game, or at least halfway here in Season 3, and I think there's a lot of new players joining in. This is a mode that can tend to be a little bit overwhelming if you're jumping in first thing. You maybe don't know what to upgrade, when to upgrade. You might not understand the systems, how you're supposed to really be kind of moving along through the rounds, and maybe even struggling to survive. So my hope is, if you're a new player and you're watching this, that you will actually be able to survive a bit longer, get a little bit better understanding of the game, and have a better experience in the future. So first thing, I did want to start with a weapon that I knew a lot of new players would have, which is the XM4. I have no attachments, because likely if you're new, you probably don't have anything unlocked. And of course, we are here on round 1. There is a Rampage Inducer up there, which we're avoiding for this. I recommend if you are trying to improve and want to make things a little bit harder in the early stages, you could definitely turn that on. It's going to replicate like round 55 plus zombies where there's super sprinters and it just function completely different. It's a little bit chaotic and definitely a bit overwhelming if you're new. The thing that we want to do first here is actually flip quite a few rounds. The amount of rounds that you want to flip in the main area here, the first starting area, is really going to be up to you and how comfortable you are. I think it's fairly reasonable, just depending on the weapon that you're using, to be able to hang out here for quite a while, or at least long enough to be able to get the points that you need to start opening up enough doors. Some of these areas, although you can open them up, it's just going to make them have more spawns for the zombies to come from, and that can get a little bit overwhelming, especially, again, if you're new. And I think it's a little bit easier to kind of discover where the zombies are going to come from and how to train them up in this beginning area than opening up doors just as soon as you can, just for the sake of progressing through the map, because not all the areas are going to give you the same amount of space to work with, and not all of them are going to be a good spot to be in when you're dealing with the zombies in general. Now, one thing that you can do on this map is if you go over here and punch this, you have a chance of getting a reward once every round. Can be kind of nice. Sometimes you get really lucky. You might get a ray gun out of there, you know, a pack-a-punch upgrade, a rarity tool, a free perk. Now, something involving the perks, it is kind of crucial to choose what perks you want early as like whatever you want to stick with, I guess I should say, if you go down. So essentially, if you go down and you fall into last stand or you're using your self-revive, you will maintain 3 perks, and those 3 perks are going to be the ones that you purchase first. So I guess what I mean is, if you hit that and maybe you get a perk that you're not really crazy about, you may not want to pick that up early on, even though it is free, because it is going to take up one of those 3 slots that you might want to hold on to in case you end up going down. You don't want to lose the perks that are most crucial. It'll make a little bit more sense as we go, because obviously that's something that we're going to do throughout this. But my main focus for first perks is usually going to be Jug. I think if you're in the circumstance that you're new, you probably don't have a lot of augments equipped on your perks, your ammo mods, your field upgrades, and you may need to actually check that you're even unlocking them through the Research Augments tab. So make sure you guys are equipping augments on your stuff. I think going for Jug first is a pretty good option. Quick revive shortly after so you can get access to Dying Wish. And I think those are going to be 2 really crucial perks to kind of focus on early, just because you are going to utilize them the most, and they do have machines available on all maps. So it's not one that you're going to need to hit the Wonder Fizz machine on or anything like that to get access to. And then from there, I would just focus on whatever you feel like you use the most. I think once you get some of the things unlocked, it'll obviously be a little bit easier to decide what you like. Some things are going to be more important than others. I don't remember all the unlock stages for all of the different things that you get. So like right now, I would definitely recommend for field upgrades, you get Ether Shroud, but I don't remember what level you unlock Ether Shroud, so it's likely you may not have access to it up to this point. As you can see here, I've just been kind of training the zombies around. It's pretty chill for the most part in these early rounds, just because the zombies are pretty slow, so they're easy to outrun. You just shouldn't have any issues doing that. Now, something I didn't do for this run that I didn't replicate for a new player is I did not take off any of my augments, but I kind of felt like it would allow you to see what a super powered version of things are once we get them. I mean, it's not going to be too crazy anyway. We're going to only go to about 20, 25 for this run. I just really want to get people in the door, get them understanding what they should be doing, when they should be doing it, and just better chance for survival for players. I want people to enjoy the game. The more people that enjoy it, the more fun they have. You know, I think the more investment the developers put into these modes and into these games to make them a better experience. All right, so now we got our vermin round. Anytime you see the yellow, you know that's going to be the case. A nice little trick for these guys is you can just get up on here. Most of them will come up the front, with the occasional ones on the side, but it makes it pretty easy to deal with these rounds. It gets a little bit more chaotic in the later ones because you just have so many more numbers, but for the most part, you should be pretty safe if you stick to this strategy. Now, I haven't been hitting this every single round like I already promoted, but, you know, sometimes I do forget. But honestly, it's just if you want a little bit something extra, and while you're in this area, it's kind of convenient. You can hit it each round as long as you remember to do so. But I don't want to focus too much on side quests or side Easter eggs in this run, but we will utilize a couple. Something that can definitely help you, depending on the map that you're playing, is to kind of understand which side quests you can do, which ones are very simple, what rewards they can possibly give you, as that'll definitely help inspire you to, you know, get certain upgrades and put yourself in a better position. Like, we're going to utilize a specific one over by the church once we get there in order to get a free rare tool on round 10. And by doing that, we don't have to buy an upgrade prior to that, and we are able to save the salvage that we get between now and then, and maybe even get a next upgrade a little bit earlier, which will be our epic rarity. We're going to be doing that at the arsenal machine. I mean, at this point, you're really a lot faster than the zombies. You don't have a lot to worry about. You just need to make sure you're looking behind you. My biggest recommendation is to try to train around, like just run around the zombies like this, pull your fists out, run around, build up as many as you can so they're not just spawning in all different directions. That way you have a pretty clear shot of where they're at. You can actually just focus on the group all at once, and you don't have to look in too many directions at once, because eventually, obviously, as the rounds go, it gets more difficult to actually do. But in retrospect, you should just be able to keep your distance in these early rounds and, you know, make the best of it. Now, as you see, we did get a nuke power-up. Although it does seem tempting, I'm going to go ahead and try to finish up a lot of these extra zombies here. We still haven't even opened up a single door. Now, you could start opening here on round 6, but because I got the nuke, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to flip the rest of these zombies or get down to the end. We'll get the last guy here. This guy will get nuked. We'll get the extra points from the nuke, which are going to be nice. This will be the round we 100% will just go ahead and leave. I think I could push it a little bit further, but that's not something I'm, you know, trying to get you guys to do. I just want you guys to build up enough points where you can make enough progress in the map to actually have, you know, some sort of effect from it. So it does cost a little bit to get to the church over there, where we're going to get Pack-a-Punch, which is going to be probably our first upgrade. We are waiting on that rarity tool. If you find yourself like in a position where you feel like your weapon's not strong enough, you are more than welcome to use the salvage on it. But that 500 salvage that you might use on the green tool likely will be more used for an ammo mod, just depending on what you have unlocked, right? That's another thing. I don't know exactly what unlocks at what level, so there might be things I show in this that you may not have currently unlocked, but I will do my best to kind of, you know, keep that in mind as we go through this. All right, let's get through. Again, look how slow these guys are. You have, you know, the omni movement from this game that can help you bob and weave through these guys. One thing that is nice is if they do swing their arm, that they're like really slow to swing it again, right? So you can actually like swing it, then I can just stand right next to him. Oh, he actually hit me even though his arm wasn't on screen. But you can kind of, you know, bob and weave. You can ignore the damage. If I'm trying to get him to swing, there we go. Then I can realistically punch him if I wanted to not get hit. All right, so we finally got to the point where we are low on ammo. Nice thing is, early in the game, it's only 250. Pack-a-Punch level 1, it'll cost you 1,000. 2, it's 2,500, and 3, it's 5,000. So later on in this run, we will probably have to consider when we want to Pack-a-Punch, and part of that consideration will be whether or not we feel like we have enough points. If we were to, you know, need ammo, would we be able to resupply it? And it's more of an issue with some weapons than others, but for a majority of weapons, you should be fine to getting back the currency that you spend, as long as you're not Pack-a-Punching to level 3 too early on. All right, so the goal here is we want to get down to our last zombie. That way we can actually progress through the map without having too many things going on and anything, you know, too crazy to worry about. So let's go ahead, eliminate all but the last. Now we have 13K. Now it's tempting when you're going past stuff like perk machines and, you know, maybe things that you can do to upgrade. You're not going to want to do that just because you're passing by. Make sure you're going under here and get loose change. Like there, you see stamina up. You may be tempted to go ahead and grab it. We're not going to grab it. We don't need stamina up right now. And again, we want to consider that the first 3 perks that we get are the ones that we're going to hold on to when we go down on last stand. It's going to be really helpful for you. Get the, you know, 3 that you rely on the most ahead of time. And then anything you get after that, you're going to lose automatically when you go down. So it's not that big of a deal. But definitely the first 3 that you purchase are going to be kind of important. PhD is a really great perk, but I honestly think it's better with the PhD slide, so you will have to, you know, unlock a few augments for that. But now we're able to go ahead and open up the church here. We just opened up those 2 doors. We still have our 1 zombie here that can kind of follow us around. Go ahead and lay down there, get that loose change, and we'll go ahead and Pack-a-Punch to level 1. So now we're here on round 7. I mean, you could do this on round 6. Obviously, if you do it on round 6, you might not actually have the points to pack a punch, you know, right now. So you might have to wait a little longer. Next thing, you can go ahead and come through here. Keep your zombies alive. These things replenish like every round or every couple of rounds. You can come through here, actually shoot all of these, and they will give you goodies. Sometimes it's nades, sometimes it's salvage, and we're really in it for the salvage, to be honest. I mean, earlier on, when you don't have everything unlocked, you might get some sort of lethal or tactical that you like out of those, so that might be helpful too. But for me, obviously I have everything unlocked, so I don't have to worry about that. Now we have 1,500 salvage, which is pretty nice. So we could technically get rarity right now, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and flip our round. We did get Pack-a-Punch, which is nice. We got that extra boost in our magazine, and we're in a good spot. So now we can just wait for round 8 to come through. Then the big thing that we're going to face, or the first big hurdle, I think, is going to be round 11. That's when inevitably we should get our first Mangler, which, depending on how powered up you are at the time, could be a bigger challenge or a smaller challenge, right? The next thing I do want to actually get opened up is going to be this door over here. What do we have? 2,000. We're going to need 2,000. The first thing we want, honestly, is Jug outside of Pack-a-Punch. So we need to make our way to the Jug machine, which is down the street here through another door. So not only do we need, you know, enough points to open up this door, we're going to want to make sure that we get enough points for the perk as well. All right, so keep your distance from the zombies. Whoa, if you start getting hit, run away. Bob and weave. We're still early enough. They're not going to be super fast or pinching you too incredibly quick. You should be able to keep your distance. I mean, it's good to like get some shots in. I always check sometimes, make sure nothing's sneaking up on me. Use your mini map efficiently. Sometimes the dots don't update quick enough though, and that can be kind of rough. But as you can see, I can see zombies are coming over here. I can hear one coming up behind me. It's my time to move. All right, focusing on these headshots to do the most damage. Again, this is only a pack 1. I didn't put any attachments on it. I think the only thing I didn't really do, like I said, was take the augments off my stuff. But although it is a big impact, I think we'll be fine. So now we've opened up, or have the points. Now we can open this up. Boom. We have 3,500. Our first perk should be 2,500. So I don't remember how much this door is. We'll see. We are in between rounds, so it's definitely a good time for you to purchase something if you're going to. We do have enough. And I'm going to dolphin dive into this and buy it at the same time. You can also melee it when you buy it, and it will skip the animation and allow you to just have the perk. So now we do have Jug. We're in a pretty good spot here. This is my favorite area to train the zombies, this huge street here. So getting this door open really does help a lot, and it gives you a lot more freedom on the map. It's a lot less likely that you're going to get trapped, put yourself in a position where you're going to, you know, get smoked in any way. So now we can start focusing again on eliminating these zombies. When we get to the next round, we'll be able to take advantage of our side quest Easter egg thing. Pretty straightforward and easy. A lot of maps have something that can get you an upgrade, but not all of them are created equal. And some of them are a little bit more of a pain than others, right? For this map specifically, though, it is kind of nice. There's no like free pack-a-punch, but there's at least free rarity, which helps a lot. All right, we're keeping our distance. Looks like there's an insta-kill over there. I mean, that's kind of helpful. The thing is, when you're not playing with a Rampage Inducer, you can't really carry your power-ups to the next round, so you might as well just grab them. Even if you feel like it's going to have very little effect, you could realistically at least get some use out of it. More than likely, again, not running Rampage Inducer. We're going to try it here. I'll show you if I can get the rest of these zombies eliminated. We have a double points here. We'll leave it here, and when the next round starts, we should be able to grab it at the last second. Okay, I could have taken some advantage of it. I messed it up. I didn't grab it fast enough. So what I'm going to probably do now is we're at 4,000, right? We got pack 1. We're on round 10. You can take the risk here. I'm just going to go ahead and try it. I have 4 Semtexes, so I can go ahead and try to put myself in a position to do this. But basically, I'm going to pull my zombies this way. Don't put yourself in a position where you have no way out. Even if you have a lot of zombies, you can literally train them all without even eliminating them. So we're going to bring all of our zombies this way. I don't know the last time I did this with the Semtex, but basically what we need to do, make our way on the other side of these guys. Like I said, there's the majority of our zombies. There's a skull right there in that corner. You got to get your nade high enough and where the explosion will blow it up off the top, just like that. Now we can wait. Oh, it's going to be tight squeeze here. Now we can wait for all this stuff to fall out of the sky, and one of these items will actually be a rare tool. So now we can start fighting our zombies again. We're in it to win it. Let's get this popping. and we're here on round 10, and we're doing all right. And this is going to put us in a nice spot because, like I said, round 11, we'll get our first special zombie, which is going to be the Mangler, and it's going to be a lot tougher than the ones we've been facing so far. So far, so good. Focus on those headshots. Obviously, you'll get the most damage that way. We can keep on keeping on here. You might want to save one. Oh, there it is. It fell right in front of our eyes. We love to see it. So now we can equip the rare tool. We've now upgraded our weapon significantly just by waiting to round 10 and not spending any of our salvage up to this point. So let's get our zombies down to the wire here. Let's pick up our salvage here off the ground. Another thing, too, is obviously once you have some attachments on your weapon, you would be running a suppressor, giving you even higher chances of salvage drops, right? Obviously, there's some goodies still from that little side Easter egg from knocking the skull off the top there. But we're actually in a good position. I'm going to go ahead here and just pull the trigger on epic rarity here on round 10. So now we're already up to epic. Legendary is the only thing left, and we're ready to take on our first Mangler on round 11. It might be like a hit or miss on whether or not you'll have enough salvage on this round to get epic. Some rounds you will, some you won't. I mean, it's not always the same amount of salvage popping out of zombies every single time you play. Okay, we did get our Mangler here. You got to watch out for the blast, especially where these cars are. But the thing is, you want to focus on the blaster that I just blew off in 2 seconds. This is the advantage of getting all these upgrades as quickly as we have. Now we're in an incredible spot. We delete the zombies. Oh, I just got to hit my shots. We delete the zombies. We don't have to worry about that. You do have to worry a little bit. Oh, might as well take a free max ammo. We were going to need that anyway. You do want to be a little bit cautious, though. Even though you're deleting them, they can still pinch you and catch you off guard, but it shouldn't be too bad. And you should be able to, like, kill them quickly enough with your weapon being as overpowered as it is. It should be pretty tough for you to get overwhelmed unless you're just not hitting your shots, right? All right, so we're putting ourselves in a good spot here. We haven't really had to upgrade anything else crazy. We still only have Jug. We're going to make some changes to that here very soon. Let's just go ahead and get down to the... So in this case, I'm going to just save my last zombie. I know it seems tempting to want to... I just want the salvage. There we go. It seems tempting to want to flip the round, but I definitely don't want to do that. All right, so we got the extra salvage that we needed for an ammo mod. Again, I don't remember what's unlocked, what's not unlocked off the rip. I'm going to grab Deadwire because it's just my favorite. I do still have my augments on it. Honestly, early on, just having any ammo mod will be helpful on your weapon. So whatever you have unlocked, choose the one that you feel like is going to be the most fun. Eventually, you can put some augments on it. And once you have augments on all of them, it even gets more fun with elemental pop. So now that we have that, we have a couple of options. I think the next thing that I would recommend getting is absolutely going to be a quick revive. I was going to say a two-plater, but we're going to get that too, I think, as long as we have enough points here. We're going to go ahead and open this door up here. The two-plater is also in here. We should have enough for both. Grab that for 4,000, which does stack. And then we're able to grab quick revive. Now, the reason that you want quick revive, even if you don't have augments on, is because the health regen in this game is terribly slow. So it's more than likely that you are going to put yourself in a position where you're not going to regen health quick enough. And that's going to be a lot of the reasons that you're going to be going down in the early runs. Now that we have quick revive, though, and Jug, we have 2 of the 3 perks that are going to stick with us in case we end up going down in last stand. Obviously, if you stay in last stand or you go back down again, you'll lose more than that. But the idea is, if you do end up with 8, 9 perks, you don't lose the 3 core ones that you really need if you do end up getting revived or getting back up, right? Now, again, we are in another one of these bug rounds. I showed you guys the car trick. I'll go ahead and show you another location that I like to use a lot, especially in the later rounds as they get a little bit higher up in numbers. Make your way down here in front of the bowling alley. We'll go across over here, and we can just stand in one spot. They can't come up behind you over here. It can get overwhelming, though, later, so if you don't like the spot, I mean, you can always just do the car strat. You can also just keep your distance from them at all times, but that might take you a little bit longer to get through the rounds because you're going to be a little bit more playing on the scared side, right? Okay, so over there, we're good. Deadwire doing its thing. We love to see it. And we just hang out in this spot. We're good. Get our max ammo. We can make our way back to the safe location. Now, for me, the other perk that I would grab in this scenario as my core 3 is 100% going to be PhD. But for me, this is because of how helpful this perk really is, at least to me. I feel like being able to slide faster and the PhD slider augment is just insanely beneficial. Like, let's say, for example, that zombie was in my way. I could now pile drive into it and get it out of my way and allow myself to get free, right? So it keeps you from getting stuck. It doesn't always help because sometimes I feel like the explosion doesn't go off, but in a lot of ways, it can keep you from getting stuck and allow you to squeeze through spaces you normally wouldn't be able to. And you might even get, choke slam trying to go through. But now, same thing we've been doing. We're on round 13. You always want to avoid being hit, but getting hit a little bit here and there is not a big deal as long as you're not going down. As long as you're getting armor in return, you're in a good spot. Oh, I didn't know we were going to get this. I guess I should have probably anticipated another mangler. You can get manglers once every couple rounds. Sometimes you get them like once on 11 and then not until 20. Again, we'll do the same thing we did with the first one. Shoot it in the arm. Then I'll just focus on its head and bye-bye. Now we have a good amount of zombies actually built up. Reloads will be a little bit slow, but now we're at the point where we have our core 3 perks. So now I'll be more interested in buying other things. If you find yourself in a pinch, you can choose to get the 3-plater next. But honestly, you can live for quite a while with just a 2-plater as long as armor is actually dropping consistently. You can purchase armor over at the crafting station. There is one on the other side here. I mean, you might be familiar with these. I don't want to go too newbie with what I explained, but essentially in here, based on what you have unlocked, you can buy score streaks, you can buy tacticals, and you can buy lethals using your salvage. So that is one thing that you can do, but I don't recommend doing that until you get all of your legendary upgrades for your weapon that you want, right? Or the legendary upgrade for your weapon. Just because it's going to cost you so much salvage to get there. And then you normally, once my weapon's fully upgraded, I'm a little bit more willing to deal with the other ones. Oh, round 14. We're getting another mangler. As you can see, I'm just trying to keep my distance from the actual group. I'm not even following my own rule there. We shot it in the head first. Shot it in the blaster, got rid of it. I can actually shoot a few of the zombies. As soon as you feel them getting close, just start running. And this is where that PhD slide comes in. Kind of nice. Let's get out of the way here. Slide around this corner. And normally, you want to stick to as small of an area as you can. Obviously, the more rounds you push, the trickier this becomes because it's going to be hard for you to make your way back around in this loop, right? But the idea is, the more of a loop you keep them in, the less likely they are to despawn and respawn closer to you in those other areas, and the more control you actually have over your zombies. There's my ammo mod with my lovely augments taking effect, taking out most of the zombies for me. I mean, I will try to keep this insta-kill for the next round, but it's unlikely that it'll exist long enough for it to be effective. Okay, unfortunately, no insta-kill for us, but we finally got to our first elite zombie round. So we have the Abomination. Now, early, this guy's going to be kind of annoying, a little bit scary, but I promise you it's not all that bad. The other thing that's kind of nice about the Abomination is you do not have to eliminate it to flip the round. The zombies are the only thing that really count toward that. So my recommendation is if you find yourself struggling against this enemy, try to take out a lot of your zombies, get down to like the last handful. Maybe we'll test it out in this run here to showcase it. But you just get down to like the last handful and you can really, focus on the Abomination and not have to worry so much. I definitely recommend getting rid of the Abomination because long term, it can just kind of put you in a bad place. But if you do struggle to get rid of them, I highly recommend just trying to get down to the last of your zombies and then worrying about them specifically. Sometimes you can have more than one. Honestly, I've kept them around for multiple rounds during challenges and never really noticed them multiplying. But sometimes in those later rounds, you might see them disappear after killing one and then another one respawn to replace it. So what you're looking to do here is get it to show you its crit spots. Oh, there we go. This is going to be a good time. And then you can just focus on that. I'm trying not to kill my zombie, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. We absolutely destroyed that guy because we are so significantly powerful that we can just powerhouse that guy down. Boom, just like that. We're going to round 16. We'll have a little bit of break from the Abomination. And so far, so good. At this point, you guys should be starting to feel pretty comfortable with the scenario, right? You got to 16. We're in a place where we have some perks. We're even at a place where I feel comfortable. We can go ahead and just buy this. Speed Cola. And we can actually go get our 3-plater. I'm willing to go ahead and get the 3-plater, I think, right now. I guess I could get the 3-plater after pack 2. Let's just keep on keeping on. We want to remain powerful. I think it's a little bit more important for you guys to remain powerful than it is to have one more additional plate as protection this early on in the game. There we go. Try to PhD. Sometimes you can get stuck. Kind of dangerous, but most of the time it works out. Once you're far enough ahead of the zombies and you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and turn and try to put some damage in on them. But obviously keep that to a minimum because the zombies will get behind you and then end up hitting you in the back. So as long as you get comfortable moving, that's really what this is all about. You just try to avoid standing still at any time. Or unless you're comfortable and you know you're nothing behind you, I guess then you can get away with it. But for the most part, It's all about your movement. I think at this point in the run, we don't really worry too much about flipping, but I will go ahead and try to get as many of these guys as possible. I don't think I'm going to get that. I think I'm going to save my zombie here and see where we're at. Okay, so now this is one of those moments where we have to consider our Pack-a-Punch upgrade. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Pack... Oh, I didn't want to kill that guy. Hopefully this guy doesn't die. All right, and we're good. We'll play it up. So now we have 19k. We know Pack-a-Punch level 2 is 15k. So we're going to go ahead and make that purchase. We know we're basically sitting on enough essence if we bought nothing else at all to buy 2 backup sets of ammo. So that's usually a pretty good like support thing to think about. Like you don't want to buy it early and then spend too much on ammo if you're blasting through ammo. Obviously, it is more weapon-based than it is anything else, but that is definitely something to keep in mind. So boom, just like that, we'll eliminate our last zombie. We're pack 2. And now we just need to save another 5,000 essence, and we can actually get our 3-plater, which is going to be located over there on that wall. It's nice that when you buy the 2-plater, and then you upgrade to the 3-plater, you just pay the difference. So you don't have to worry about, you know, buying the 2-plater and then spending a ton extra by buying the 3-plater later, or just wanting to skip the 2-plater in general. You can skip the 2-plater if you're sitting on enough points, but realistically, you don't have to. Now, the SAM trials, although they are really nice, I think it's important if you're newer to the game to kind of just get used to all the things that we're going over, the mechanics, the dodging of the zombies and all that before you pop off on one of these, because sometimes the challenge can put you in a bad place and end up getting you, knocked down. And also it does, in some cases, spawn a lot more zombies, which can feel a little bit overwhelming. So although these are nice because you can get free upgrades from them, in the early stages, I probably would say to avoid them unless you're playing in a squad, because they, again, will put you in a place that you may not want to be in. Same thing, though. We're sticking around this bus. This is a pretty good area for quite a long time. Eventually, you do have to do more of a loop up that way and kind of evolve the strat a bit. But as you can see here, I'm not even eliminating any zombies, and I can avoid getting hit for the most part here and group them up a ton. Then, with the help of my ammo mod and our weapon being slightly overpowered, we're able to just absolutely destroy everything. Okay, let's go over here. Let's get the double points, and let's actually finish off this round. So far, so good. Everything's looking great. Hopefully you guys enjoy this like play-by-play action style of guide, because I will do these for the other maps if enough of you guys are enjoying this. I think it'll be very helpful for new players. There's probably going to be some things that I forget. I'll probably go through different weapons as we go through different maps. But essentially, I mean, it's nice to go back to the roots of the game and, explain it in real time. So we did get another special zombie round, or technically our vermin round for this map. So we're going back to the spot over here. Couple things you want to keep in mind, right? Round 11, you should get your first mangler. Sometimes it doesn't happen on 11, but more often than not, it does. Round 16, you're likely going to get your first abomination, but like you saw here, it does happen as early as 15. Every 5 or 6 rounds, you're going to expect one of these special rounds to occur, so keep that in mind too. Sometimes these can be nice because they end up being pretty chill. Especially if your weapon's overpowered, you can pretty much just destroy these guys. And then you can go back to your normal routine. So, like in this case, I kind of saw the screen was going to get yellow, or I had the hunch that it was going to be a toxic round. Not a toxic round, a special round. So I made my way back to this area, and I didn't have to worry about trying to traverse the map while all the things are spawning in. Okay, round 19, we definitely got our second abomination of the run. I'm going to start doing our little bit of training technique here. The thing, like I said, is they despawn and respawn. Dude's coming down. I'm going to get a couple shots in on him. Now you can start to see that the gaps that I can squeeze through are getting a little bit tighter. We're here on round 19, though. It's to be expected. For some of you, this might be the furthest you've ever made it. Congratulations. For others of you, maybe you've struggled to get here, and this is probably one of your cleanest runs yet. Hopefully that's the case. But we are going to keep on keeping on here. So now, this guy you got to avoid. So even though blasting and doing his laser technique, it's a really good time to shoot him, there's a right and wrong time to do so. The good news is, too, though, any of the zombies, including the manglers, they go through that blast. Oh, God. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, we're good. We found the way out. Yeah, they go through that blast. They actually do take damage. So you can actually utilize the abomination if you've seen some of my other challenge runs, or if you haven't. That's one of the ways that I've gotten through some of the more difficult rounds in this map. Just by doing exactly what I'm saying, utilizing this abomination to kind of eliminate those manglers for me when my weapon's underpowered. Definitely, though, a kind of a hard strat to execute. I recommend, practicing it a bit before you just kind of go for that regularly. Okay, I think for this run, we'll at least go to 25. I want to make it to the point where we get the Wonder Fizz unlocked at the very least. Okay, getting a little scary here. And it's going to start getting a little crazy, which is fun. It's going to get more fun as we go. All right, time for us to try to take down some of these zombies. Watch to your left there. Once you get more familiar with where the zombies spawn, it helps a lot. But we're going back to our exact strategy we were doing before. It does, again, get more chaotic as we go. What is that? Two times? We want that. All right, we got to shoot the guy in the blaster. And we didn't shoot it off yet. Okay, there we go. Watch out for the zombies. Now he's going to be a little bit less threatening. Those guys with their blasters, especially in multiples, can be a huge issue. All right, so we're utilizing our slide, aiming at the dome. If you're playing on mouse and keyboard, unfortunately you don't have aim assist. But once you have a dead shot, you can just spam heads with the controller setup. So as you can see here, pretty clean. We actually made it through that round fast. If you do the strategy, you can get them all out of here pretty quick. Okay, I hit the nuke that we had left over from the last round at the very beginning of this. Probably not going to have a huge impact. Obviously, we lose some points in that case, but I just want to make a quick run up here. Definitely recommend saving a zombie for going for anything, whether it's a perk machine, an upgrade, or anything like that if you're not super comfortable squeezing through the zombies, because it can be a little bit crazy. It gets even more insane if you run the Rampage Inducer as they move at a much faster pace, but after enough practice, you'll feel comfortable doing it without having to worry about saving a zombie. Although, obviously the best strategy normally is and does involve you saving one. All right, so we might have double the amount of manglers this round. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. We don't quite have enough, but we are doing pretty good so far on our salvage towards legendary rarity. We obviously haven't lost our self-revive. I think if you lose your self-revive before like round 16, just reset it. I mean, you haven't invested that much time. And more than likely, you're going to want to try to get to legendary before having to worry about a backup self. So, same strategy. Get rid of dude. Shoot him in his blaster. I can't even see him. Did he die already? Damn, he got vaporized. That just shows you why the ammo mods are so good. I almost probably should have avoided having an ammo mod equipped to my gun for this run, but not that big a deal. Okay, so now we just go ahead and stay away from these guys. Shoot them all in the head. Get them out of here as quickly as possible. I will say, when you train up the zombies and you have a large enough group and then you delete enough of them at once, you have to be very cautious about what happens when they spawn back in, because sometimes it puts you in a bad spot. This right here is the ultimate streak to exfil with, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up. That's another one of those things you may not have unlocked, but I think it can still drop for you from eliminating manglers, and I think even maybe the elites will drop them too. But if you see those at any point throughout your run and you actually want to utilize the exfil in order to finish up your match, I definitely recommend picking up the mutant injection. It's easily like the best option on any of the maps. One of the big issues with exfils are that the zombies don't come in fast enough, so the quicker that you can get those eliminations, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so now things are about to get a lot more hectic. We do already have 2 manglers in, so what my plan here is going to be to try to dodge this. Kind of goes around corners, you got to be careful. We're going to PhD slide past. I'm going to focus on this dude's blaster. Okay, blaster is gone. Now I can actually just shoot him in the head, even though the other guy's super far away. I don't think it's going to reach this far. All right, let's go ahead and focus on our zombies while he's trekking along. What do we have in there? I think we have an insta-kill in there, which is kind of nice, but our weapon is just so damn strong right now that we don't have to really worry about it. Okay, I got zombies sneaking up behind me. It was always an inevitable part of this journey. This is what I mean. You kill enough of them, they keep spawning behind you. All right, we just backtrack this way, keep moving. Watching our mini-map, staying on task. We should still have this... Dude, I didn't get the insta-kill. I'm not really worried about it. Holy crap, there's so much salvage. All right, we have enough. We're going to get legendary. Where did my dude go? Oh, he's over here. All right, so we have very few zombies left. Let's go ahead and just take this guy out. Follow him. If you have a ton of zombies or your round just started, I don't recommend going into this corner because it can be kind of dangerous. But we already know we're getting down toward the ends of them. We shouldn't be too bad a shape here. Okay, so now we're in another good position here. Round 22. We got a couple of zombies left. We know in a few rounds we'll get access to the Wonder Fizz, but we also want to try to get our stuff upgraded as we're going here, right? I think for the most part, at this point that we're at in the match, we're in a good spot with the perks that we have. Eventually, you're going to want Deadshot, Double Tap. Double Tap's just recently added, obviously. But now we can actually go Legendary, upgrading our gun once again. And you'll notice, although I do have 35,000, I'm not executing on getting Pack-a-Punch level 3 right now. I think our weapon is in a decent spot. Obviously, different weapons are going to give you different experiences, meaning that you may want to upgrade one earlier than later, just based on what you're using. But at that point, you're also going to be more comfortable with the game, so you can sacrifice certain perk purchases or other things that you might get throughout the experience in order to compromise for whatever upgrade you're doing. Okay, once again, we got the Abomination. I do need to avoid getting hit, but I will allow a couple of hits in order to output some damage in the early round. Couple more rounds to go. We're doing pretty good. I think you guys are going to be making it this far as well. Some of you probably having some of your best runs so far. Again, let me know down in the comment section below if you guys find this run helpful or overall you just think it's a cool idea, and I will try to execute it on the other maps as well. I think Terminus is probably going to be the least appealing map to a new player just because of how the map is designed, but I will absolutely do that one next if people want to see that, or I can skip that one and do that one later. All right, we're going to keep moving, allowing us to keep focusing on that base. Anytime it lasers, you want to try to put priority onto it if you have a good position. Oh, God. Sometimes things get risky. But we have armor. All right, we'll play it up. I don't know how much armor's on the ground. I will say if you really desperately need armor because there's just none dropping, you can purchase it from a crafting table. Just make sure you're either holding onto a zombie or you have a decoy grenade or something that can kind of distract the zombies away from, you know, focusing on you. We did get a max ammo here. Holy crap. And I'm going to go ahead and focus on this guy. And we actually ended up killing him, so that works out. I took a little damage in the process, but back to the regular scheduled program with our strategy. I hear a zombie coming up behind me. Gonna keep my distance. Oh, look, there's a crawler. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And we're good. Obviously, this weapon is pretty good, so we're going to have a lot less issues with this than what you might have if you're doing camos with some of the less ideal weapons out there. You guys watched my video yesterday. I used the HDR. Highly don't recommend that. That thing was probably one of the worst experiences I've had on the game. Okay, I wasn't paying enough attention. We did get another vermin round, so we're going to do the strat. I'm going to crouch here on the back of this. Some of them, like I said, will go on the left and the right, but a lot of them should just go up the front. And you just got to kind of pay attention. Kill that one over there. It can be a little hectic. They do damage, but you got plates. As long as you have plates, you'll be fine. Hit them on that side, hit them in the front. It's usually just like front and left, sometimes one on the right, but it's not usually that crazy. All right, we're here on round 25. Now this is where things get kind of insane. It's going to be kind of unfortunate that we're going to be wrapping up this run at the almost same time that we would, you know, be continuing on, but I don't want to make this video entirely too long, so that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid. And I think this is a good start for a lot of new players in general. Look at our groundskeeper. We're not doing the egg, but there we go. But what we want to do here is now we know the Wonder Fizz is unlocked. It's actually going to be right there. You can barely see the top of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually come down here, and we're going to need to get ourselves in a position where we have like one zombie left over. And why are we going to do that? Because we want to hit this Wonder Fizz machine, and we don't want to die in the process. So back to our strategy. If we get really lucky, we won't have an Abomination or even a Mangler this round. You won't get them every single round. The only time you have an Abomination consistently is if you just don't kill it fast enough. Manglers, though, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you have one every round, sometimes you don't. I feel like it's quite random, actually. Oh, we have two this round. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Shoot the blaster, shoot the blaster, shoot the blaster. It's a little harder to shoot off once you've made it far enough through. Because the main reason that we're not getting pack 3 is also because of the addition of double tap. I would be a little more like focused on trying to get that earlier than later if double tap was never introduced. But now I feel like we can push a little bit further without getting pack 3 just because we have the access to double tap. Thank you, Shattered Veil. Thank you, Season 3. And hopefully we have some more awesome things that come in the future as well. Okay. Try to get through some of these guys here. Try to get through the rest of these. We're just trying to put ourselves in the position we need to be in. I don't want to hit the nuke. I don't want to flip it around, especially when we're trying to buy perks. So we're going to avoid that. Lose out on a little bit of points, but not that big a deal. I mean, we'd had to lose out on a lot of points anyway. Oh, did I just flip around? Nope, we're good. Whew. I thought we flipped it. Alrighty, we got our frickin' zombie here. It's, you know, chilling, vibing, enjoying the view, whatever the case is. Now, let's go ahead and make our way over here. We're going to zip line across, and now we can access the Wonder Fizz. We have 55,000. Now, if you want to get all perks, it's going to be expensive, but I don't think you need to get all perks off the rip. You can get a few of these perks that are available here now, and then depending on what you're using, you can always come back and get other ones, right? But the main one, I would say, So we're going to get dead shot. We're going to go ahead and get double tap. At this point, we really don't need Vulturade, but if we were still trying to get legendary, we would get that. We'll get stamina up, and we'll get elemental pop. I don't really feel like I need the other 3 at the moment. Vulturade is nice, but I do want to go ahead and get Pack-a-Punch level 3, probably right after this round, right? Maybe we'll push it a few more rounds just so we can actually see some more in action since we're not max upgraded. But let's go ahead and eliminate our zombie. And I do have enough now, so this is exactly what I was saying last time. We are in a position where I have 34,000. So in your mind, 30,000 makes sense to go get pack 3, right? But depending on the weapon that you're using, that could end up being a mistake because you could go through more ammo at a faster rate than you will be able to get the eliminations that it takes to actually regain that ammunition. So my recommendation is maybe save 10, 15,000 over and then don't plan on spending that. And then you can go ahead and get Pack-a-Punch level 3 and put yourself in a good spot. So I'm going to push this video a few more rounds just so we can actually get Pack-a-Punch level 3. It's more than likely only going to need to be like 1 or 2 more rounds. But here we are. Things are starting to get a little bit more hectic. We do have our Mangler up there trying to cause havoc, but we're just going to keep circling around, give him his chance to build up his team, you know? That's the goal here. And then we're going to go ahead and try to shoot his blaster. The problem is this thing is a little crazy. I don't have any attachments on it, and double tap is actually crazy. But it's going to help us out a lot through this round. So now let's try to take out his teammates, get all the zombies out of here. What is that? That's bonus points. Incredibly easy. Yeah, this thing is insane. So now, because we have double tap, like I said, that's kind of our reason to not have gotten our 3-pack as early. But now we're in a good spot. We're already almost to 40k. The other thing, too, is when you get double tap, you will go through more ammo quickly. So maybe that's another thing to keep in mind. So let's go ahead. Now we can actually spam dead shot. Look at that. Just locking on to heads. Don't even have to worry about anything. Just watch your back. Locking on. I mean, come on now. Are you serious? This is chill. This is a vibe. And obviously, depending on what augments you have unlocked, you might even be doing extra damage with your double tap by hitting the same target multiple times. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on. But look at that. Just like that, we're through the round. And I feel like we got enough now at 44,500. We'll go ahead and play it up. We can make our way into here. And now we will officially be at Pack-a-Punch level 3. We're sitting on 14k. Even after this next round, we'll be more than comfortable, I think, going forward. I mean, the only real thing that could kind of set you back in one of these runs is completely going down with a lot of purchases, right? So a lot of the way that I play this game is with that in mind. If you invest too much on perks earlier and then you end up having a down and needing to self-revive, you lose out on all the essence that you had, you know, to make those purchases, and then you repurchase those perks because you need them. So that's something that I like to keep in mind for my runs and why I choose to get perks in the way that I do. And in some cases, some people might disagree with the way that I do them, saying that I wait too long. Oh, I'm going to try to watch out here. This is where things are going to get really tough, but you're going to utilize your PhD to slide through those gaps. I mean, we haven't had any real close calls, I don't think, yet. So things have been good. Things have been good, but it's going to, you know, get way more insane, especially when it comes to these guys as these rounds progress. We're going to try to move this way so I can focus on dude. They are still spawning in. Okay, spam a little bit. You don't want to get hit by the blast if you can avoid it because it does a lot of damage, and sometimes it's just bad timing. Like if you're already getting hit by a zombie and the blast hits you, it can down you. So definitely try to keep your distance from those guys. But like, here you go. Bam. We don't really have much going on behind us. That explosion was kind of scary. Go ahead and get these out of the way. Where's our... Oh, here he is. And instantly blasted his arm off. Got that guy, and everybody's completely destroyed. Okay, the last thing we need to do is exfil, but since we're on a random, you know, not exfil round, we need to use a gobble gum. So I'm going to pop my exit strategy here, and it's going to give us the exfil here on the top of the map. Just give it a second. There we go. That's the same as interacting with the radio in the spawn. Now, you don't really get much for exfilling, but if you want to leave the match early and you don't want to eliminate yourself, or you want to build up some whimsical gobblegums, exfilling is definitely a way to go. I mean, if there's, you know, a reason for me to exfil, I'll do it. If I'm planning on ending a run at a certain round, I'll exfil. So it's something I commonly like to do. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to show you the mutant injection here. So we're going to go ahead and try to squeeze through. Why is this guy's laser hitting me? I'm going to go ahead and pop this. Wait till the last second. Wait till you're going to start getting hit and pop it. As you see there, we did a huge clearance on how many zombies we have remaining. Now we can just punch this guy. This is why the mutant injection is like the greatest. You can use a chopper gunner, but there are definitely issues with chopper gunners that can arise that you will more than likely not enjoy. Okay, there we go. I mean, this thing's just so fast, too. We have 40-something seconds left. We're looking for whoever's left over. One there, and we have completed the new player guide journey for Liberty Falls. Now we exfil successfully. Now, hopefully, after watching this, you guys have learned a lot. You'll know exactly what to look into. You'll know what to focus on, and you'll just have a much better experience going forward here on Liberty Falls. Obviously, the weapon that you're using will change the outcome that you have, or maybe change the way that you play a little bit. But outside of that, that's going to wrap things up for us here. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all support in the channel, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace!